Hey guys, you're about to watch a live coaching call I did for my mastermind community. And what we did, we did what's called hot seats. And hot seats are where a gym owner comes to the table and brings me a specific issue or problem or opportunity that they've got with their gym. And I work with them and solve it. And they kind of give them 1 to 3 action items to take to solve it. Now, I'm sharing this because I believe a lot of the issues that we covered with my clients are some of the same that you're facing today. And I normally don't share stuff like this as full length content. It's 2 hours plus. There's a lot of issues and challenges that we solved. But I felt compelled to share it because I think a lot of people got some really big breakthroughs, and we talked about some important stuff that I think that you're probably going to really benefit from. Things like increasing your profit, how to revamp your marketing strategy, the difference between small group and large group, and how to price them and how to structure them, how to work with joint ventures. I mean, we covered a lot of ground, and there's probably about 10 different hot seats that you'll listen to, and it's game changing stuff. I think you're going to get a huge value from watching this. So hopefully you enjoy. Thanks.
Who wants to go first? So what I want you to do is the way we'll do this is just do the yellow hand, and I'll just go in order, and we'll go one at a time in there. As soon as your yellow hand goes up, you're in the queue, and then we will go from there.
All right. So I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily a problem. I guess I'm just trying to get clarification on what's the best step. So I've gone through the vault, printed out like all the joint venture material, kind of looked it over, kind of use that as an example of what I kind of want to say. We've got two joint ventures coming up. One is a coffee shop and the other is like a smoothie shop. So our plan was to kind of obviously buy up a couple of, just gift certificate cards to give to members. But I guess how would I grow that better as a joint venture? I mean, what can we offer them? And then I guess what would we want to have them help us with? I don't know if that's a great question or not.
Okay. Um, so this is more of a very specific tactical question. Okay, which
Correct.
I'll
Yeah.
which I'll which I'll answer, right? I'll answer. But for today, start to think of strategy over tactics. I'm going to go over this at Mastermind too. This is another big concept that you guys got to understand. A lot of times you guys go, and again, we all do this, right? But we always go to the strategy. We always go to our, what's the thing I need to do? What's that Facebook ad I need to run? What's the, like, we always go to that strategy, and we don't think of, go to the tactic, and we don't think strategically first. Okay? So let's unpack this a little bit. Tell me where it is right now, like what has happened so far.
So yeah, all we've really done is we've bought a couple of gift certificates just to give to members, like when they say hit a PR or hit a milestone on attendance and stuff like that. So we're sending them business, but we just, I
Okay,
guess, don't know where to go from there. Like as far as what we could give them that would help us.
got it. Okay, so you sent them business.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. What is the relationship that you have with the person that owns the coffee shop?
I mean, I guess short of like calling him a friend, it would be a friend. I mean, we don't like go and hang out or anything like that. It's more so we're just looking at helping each other's business, and it's just I haven't approached them as far as what I would want them to do for us or how they can help us, and that's kind of the hard part I'm having with tackling is what do I ask in return, I guess.
Right. So when I asked about the relationship, it's someone that you know,
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
and are they like you said they're a friend of yours?
Yep.
Okay. And have you guys had conversations and discussions about possibly working together?
Yes, we have. Yep.
Okay. And what happened in those conversations?
Yeah, I mean, it was mutual. We both wanted to obviously help each other out. They kind of posed the question to me as well, like, well, you're sending us business. Obviously, people are coming in to get smoothies after a workout and stuff. They kind of threw it back and like, well, how can we help you or what can we do for you? So that's where we were kind of like, we had a roadblock. We're like, I don't know, do we give them like a pass thing to hand out to certain people or what's the best benefit for us out of that relationship?
If you could define success for this relationship, what would that look like?
Yeah, we're sending them members. Obviously, they're sending us members, and we kind of got that joint relationship where they kind of look at their business as kind of, in a sense, ours and vice versa. So people will frequent it a lot more, and as in return, they'll obviously come to the gym to become members.
So I'm going to ask that question again, but I want you to be a little bit more specific, right? Because it's too success is like I won the Super Bowl as a football player. You can
Okay.
define it. It's a clear-cut, concrete thing. Them sending us members, we're sending us members is like it's a little bit vague and hard to nail down. If you can have a definition of success that's super clear-cut, then I think we can work towards a possible solution.
Okay.
So if we could go back and say, all right, what is the definition of success and give me some details around what that looks like.
Yeah, I guess kind of cutting it down would be like potential 1 to 2 new members that were a frequent person of the smoothie shop that comes in and tries us out and becomes a member with us.
Okay, and that's success for you.
Yep.
And what would be success for them?
Oh, then we continue to send them because usually after workout we'll get 3 to 4 people that will go there, kind of hang out, get a smoothie and stuff like that. So we're definitely giving them business and they're getting a benefit from that. For us, we haven't really talked to them and said like, hey, how do we get it to where you can kind of send us some of your potential customers to make them become members at the gym.
Okay, so would they look at the relationship right now as successful, meaning they're getting new customers because of you?
I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. Cause like I said, on an average in a week, probably 20, 30 members will frequent them and buy something from them.
And have you asked them about that, about what success looks like?
Not direct, like, what in their definition it would be. I mean, I just kind of assumed if we're sending them in members that are spending money with them, that's a win-win that they, never would have came in the first place, probably.
Got it. Okay. So success for you would be you're getting 1 to 2 new members per month from the smoothie shop, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, have you started to think about any ideas of what the smoothie shop could do for you? Because they asked you that question, right?
Hmm.
Have you come up with any solutions yet?
Yeah, the only one I kind of did was like on the weekends, like say a Saturday when we get the most turnout from members would be, can we get a discount or something on X amount of smoothies that we kind of bring to the gym and let them have it after the workout, kind of as a bonus or a gift to them. That's kind of about as far as we went. We haven't really, like I said, we were struggling with trying to figure out how we would go about giving them like gift cards or something for a membership to the gym, if that makes sense. Because it's like at this point, we're just buying gift certificates from them and giving them to members, where it's like, yeah, we want to try to capture some of their members to become gym members. We just
Got
don't
it.
know if we give, like I said, a 30-day gift card to them to hand out that they can hand out when they see fit, or what would be the best idea.
Does the smoothie shop have an email list of their customers?
Ooh, I asked and she wasn't real clear on it. She said they do have some lists, but it's not like one that that they generally send stuff out to. So it doesn't sound like they're real active with an email list.
Okay. So that would be the first thing, because that would be, we're kind of limited to what you can do, right? Relative to if they don't have a list of people to contact, whether that's through text message, whether that's through email, then we are limited to be doing stuff in the store or creating event-based things. So
Gotcha.
the first action step would be to actually drill down further into do they have access to their customers on a regular basis? Like I know even like the local diner that many of you have gone to in my local town, that has Gabriel Fitness stuff on the menu. They collect email addresses and they send regular emails out, and they're like a progressive business. And so one of the first things I would do is find out if they have that, right?
Okay.
Second thing I would do is I would try to propose that they do that,
Okay.
right? So almost like one of the things that you guys got to start thinking about is because of you guys being in this group and you understanding marketing, right? You can start helping educate your joint ventures that you work with to do better business. Why wouldn't, like, can you imagine you guys, all of you, owning a smoothie shop and not gathering contact information of your customers so that you could send out discounts and coupons and things like that, or we're having a sale or blah blah blah. Like, can you imagine not doing that? None of you can imagine doing that because you understand lead generation, you understand the fortune is in the follow-up. Most people do not. And so one of the things that you could do is start to guide them down the path of helping them do business better. And when you help them do business better, that helps them and that also helps you because now you have access to a list that you didn't have before. And I'm going to tell you right now, we can do all the things being suggested in the chat, the boxes where they fill out a form, the buy the coffee for everybody. Those are all great ideas, but there's nothing that's going to be more powerful than a list that is created where we can go to the well and make an offer whenever we want to. There's nothing that will be more powerful than that. So that would be what I would drive towards and push towards, is to help them and guide them towards getting contact information from their customers on a regular basis.
Okay. No, perfect. Yeah, because like I said, we were drawing a blank. We've done joint ventures, but generally with like teams. So that's a little bit easier, as far as what they can offer us and what we can offer them. But yeah, going with like, say, a restaurant or a smoothie place, it's like, what can they really offer us? And that's a good idea. Yeah, to try to get or find out more on their email or contact list. And if they're not doing it, definitely suggest that they start, and then we could kind of bridge onto that as well.
Yep. And I'm going to read some of the suggestions in the chat. So buy their coffee cup sleeves. I was actually going to say that, Chris. That's a good one, with a QR code and exclusive offer for your gym. I know several people have done that before. AB, did you do that? The coffee coffee cup QR codes or pizza. I know Varsity House did pizza boxes. I know some other people have done that. Giancarlo did that. Thank you. I think it's something to test, right? I think some people did it and it worked really well. I think other people have did it and it was a total flop. Like, I think the pizza box thing for Riggio and Dan, I don't know how well that worked. I do think that the coffee cup sleeve that G-Man did was. So that is a great idea from Chris. Some kind of an offer where you buy their sleeves and basically you buy them with your logo and offer on the QR code for something specific. And what I would do too is you guys got to always remember what was the study done? There's a Predictably Irrational has a study about free. I talked about it in Surge. And basically the way they showed how powerful free was when they took the difference between a Lindt truffle and a Hershey Kiss. And the Lindt truffle was basically a high-end candy. And they were selling the Lindt truffle for 15 cents. And then they were selling the Hershey Kiss for $1. And they put it on the experiment on college campuses, and the Lindt truffle at 15 cents sold like 70% to 30% on the Kiss. And you would think a penny would sell higher, right? But it didn't. They shifted everything down $1. So they made a penny. So they made the Lindt truffle 14 cents, and then the 1 cent Hershey Kiss went to 0. Right? So just same 1 cent down, and everything flipped, right? It went from 70-30 to 30-70 in favor of the Hershey Kiss because it was free. And so I think with this is a very, very, very cold audience, right? Very cold. Someone going to buy a cup of coffee is not someone that's thinking about owning a gym or buying a gym membership or anything like that. It's as cold can be. And so you got to understand, if we're going to put something on that QR code on a coffee cup, we have to be very clear with our offer and what it is. And it's got to be something that doesn't impose any risk. So I would create some type of free offer, whether it's free session, free week, free month, whatever that is. If you put like a trial for $99, that's going to go over like nothing. It's not going to work. So a better offer will, I always go, whenever I do stuff like print, magazine, I always go better offer, because the better offer has to take them from that print thing to a sales page, to a landing page, to something. There's more steps that you need to go through. So I do like that idea. You could try the lead boxes Molly, recommended. There's no, you know, um, disadvantage to that. You could probably see if they would even put some signage up. I don't think it's probably going to cost too much to be able to do that. So you could try to put a poster up with an offer or something like that in the coffee shop, and maybe people scan the QR code. It's kind of just like cheap real estate to be able to do
Sure.
something like that. The other thing you could do is, and I know that I believe I can't remember who did this, but someone decided like once a week they were going to buy coffee for everybody, um, for a period of time. It was like an hour or 2 hours. Like anyone that came to the coffee shop between the hours of 6 and 7, they basically said, "Hey, your coffee was paid for by this gym. Here's a coupon for the gym, or here's the information on the gym." And instead of basically them just saying they got the coffee, they got some type of an information sheet and a flyer with their coffee cup and saying, "Hey, your coffee cup was bought by TJ. Here's his gym. Go check it out." Something like that.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah, no, I
another option. So again,
appreciate
all
it.
of those tactically, right? But the strategic advantage is getting them to start collecting contacts, so you can then, it's not a one-shot deal anymore. Like this whole buying the coffee cup, it's a one-shot deal. It's either work or it's not. They're probably not going to do it, um, want to do that all the time. They're not going to want to hand out all their stuff all the time. They're not going to want to do your sleeves all the time. And it's going to run its course. The real strategic look of this is, how do I create a relationship and a well that I can keep going to over and over and over again? And then from there, they can have direct special offers to your gym. You could run a sweepstakes. You could do something like that. And you can run that all through text message. You can run that through email. And now you have another asset in a business that you have that has a list of customers that are your customers that you want to work with. Make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Steve.
Hey, Vince. So we want to try to improve our conversion from our new group, sort of 6 week, challenger, so to speak, have a better conversion rate into our small group personal training. We've done pretty well, like almost about an 80% conversion on everyone. Usually there's 8 to 10 people in that group. But throughout the process, we probably have, maybe 50, because purely from a price perspective, at least that's what we're thinking. They're, transitioning to, the large group setting because, it's $100, $120 cheaper, better for their budget. They can still work out. So some of them really need to be in small group, obviously. So we do our best to, stay with them and convince them and show them, throughout the process of why that's going to be the better choice for them for a number of reasons. But a lot of times it just comes down to a cost perspective. So I don't know if we're missing something along the way that could switch their mindset, to spend that extra money to get quite a bit more than they're getting in a large group setting.
Okay. So whenever I have questions on this type of stuff, there is no possible way we can get to any solutions without data. Real hard data and the real data. So I want to clarify the question here to see if this is like you're trying to solve, how can I increase the conversion rates from our 6 week challenge into what?
into more of them going to the small group personal coaching. So basically the 6 weeks is that small group personal coaching. Even if it's a little bit bigger group, we have 2 coaches. So right away we explain that, maximum 6-to-1 ratio, and small group is going to continue with that, moving forward. So yeah. And then some of them will obviously stick to that, which is great. But then some of them see, the large group maybe in the gym, and they start asking questions, what's that group? Or is that a little bit cheaper because there's more people? And then that whole conversation, starts. So we have to or I've got to coach my team better on how to talk to them about that whole process through those 6 weeks. So there's almost no doubt when they're done.
From your last 6-week challenge, how many of them became customers? How many people did the challenge?
We had 11, and we was one of our best ones. All of them became members, which was huge. Usually we have around 80%, 70 to 80%. There's a couple that, will drop out, but all of them continued. And so let's see, 1, 2, 3, there's about 7 of them went to large group, and then 4 of them stayed in small group.
Okay. So first, great job.
Yeah, that was good. That was huge for us. So no, thanks. It's working well.
11 out of 11 ain't bad.
Yeah, I'll take it.
What is it normally? Like, if you had, like, what happened in your last?
Yeah,
challenge?
usually we cap it at 12. So, we've had, 50-50, we've had, like a 70%. So, that might be, 8 or 9 will end up going. There's always 2 or 3 in the group that are just they're bouncing around, looking for a jump start. And then, they're gone for whatever reason. But
relative with the close rate into small group, like with the last time you did it and you had 8 closes, is it the same rate, around 4 going into small group?
Yeah, we had, I think,
7?
3 or 4 right in the small group, and then the rest, the 4 or 5 went into large group. So all the problem is like our large groups are getting bigger and bigger, and we're going to need, another coach to just keep the quality level there. So that's going to be another issue from a payroll perspective. If we have to bring out, our large group usually averaged, 14, 16 people max, and now we've hit, 20, 22, 23. So, we don't want that to get out of control. And all of a sudden, these challenges are going great, but we can't keep flooding the large group and then
Why would you need another coach for 24 people?
A lot of those folks that are coming into the small group, it's almost like we have this contingency of people that have been there, for a while, and all of a sudden we get 5 or 6 newer people that may need some extra hands, in the large group. So because the pace could be a little bit faster than they're used to. So interns are working great. So we've got 2 interns now, which is fine. We don't need that. They're there for another couple months, but just, I'm thinking, big picture, if we keep this trend going, and it gets bigger and bigger, there's just things that, quality wise, it's just not what what we want to keep going with.
Yeah, I would just clarify what your large group ratio is, and I would build the system and structure around one coach being able to facilitate X people.
Yep.
When you start adding second coaches on large group, you're going to run into like just logistical nightmare with staffing and scheduling and stuff like that.
Sure.
So what I would do is I would make adjustments to the program that you don't need that, right? Like when we changed our large group, we would just train 24 people at once with one coach, and we structured the program so it was like kind of dummy proof in that we weren't like worried about like someone getting injured. Like it shouldn't be super coaching intensive, right? For someone to get on a bike and someone to get on a ski erg. So is there possible that there are exercises within your large group that are maybe complex that shouldn't be in large group? And because what I say with the problem with that is when you start adding more coaches, you get really coaching intensive. And remember, our goal is to get more small group. Now we're starting to increase the level of intensity of coaching that we're getting in large group when we're really trying to do that and make a value differentiator into the small group.
Yeah, I think that the thing we're running into too is, when we started, years ago, we had our large group, but it was very strength-based focus because
Right. And that's probably going to need to evolve over time
right.
as you incorporate and focus on small group. You can't just keep everything the same. There's got to be adjustments. Like we did the same thing when we did our large group. We used to have like barbell stuff and we were doing stuff like that in the large group. And if you don't make those adjustments, then all of a sudden people are going to be like, well, small groups over here and large groups over there, and we're doing the same similar things, similar, not the same, but similar, except there's 24 over there and there's 6 over here, and over there I have to pay 5 times less. So why don't I just go do that over there?
Right.
So you're going to have to make some adjustments over time, right? And you do it so they don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Like we just slowly took stuff away. First thing is barbells. Like, are you using barbells in your large group?
No. Just a lot of dumbbells, a lot of kettlebell stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, but even a lot of dumbbells and kettlebell stuff, like that's what you do in small group.
Right.
So it looks very similar. And so like, why would all these people want to do small group when it's just like, oh, we did the same shit in large group?
Yeah. No, I get it. Totally get it.
Do large group?
It's
Why would I
just
pay? Why would I pay 5 times more?
Yeah, and it may be that we have to do different, like you're saying, different programming because we don't want to. Luckily we have a lot of people that have been with us for a long time, and all of a sudden, they love the weights, they love all that stuff. They're, sort of
Well, if they love the weights and they love that stuff, they should do small group.
Yeah.
Right. But the reality is, it's like one's cardio, one's strength. That's just like at the end of the day. Like we're not like. That's what it is. And I'm not saying you can't do cardio with kettlebells and stuff like that.
Right.
But you will consistently run into this problem if they look too similar. That is probably the problem. They look too similar. They're almost the same. One has 24 people, one has 6. We're doing the same shit.
Right.
That is likely why
Yeah,
you're getting a larger percentage of people doing that.
Yeah.
So the first thing is know that you're killing it. Like, and again, it doesn't mean that you can't. I'm not like saying like you should start forcing people into large group, like or small group over large group. Like sometimes it's the right fit, or sometimes it's they're the right person for that, and maybe they're not going to be. It's kind of like the BMW. One of the reasons why you have it, it's like a BMW has a 3 Series, a 6 Series, and 7 or 3 Series. I don't know my cars very much. What is it? 3 Series, 5 Series? Any Beamer people in here?
Yeah.
No.
357.
357, right? So it's like you can't if you can't afford a 7 Series Beamer, doesn't mean you can't be a Beamer customer. Some people are 3 Series people. Some people are large group people. And that's okay. And I will tell you this, like over time, what you can do, and here's the other thing I would say is, I don't know how much you want to do. Like if you're getting 11 out of 11 and you're getting them closed as customers, I wouldn't mess with it too much.
Right.
The best thing to do is get them as a customer. Now, what you can do, what I would do, is have an upgrade system where every month you went to people, and every one of you, even if you do only small groups, should be listening to this. All right. You're reaching out to 5 to 10 people a month for an upgrade. Right. And basically what you do is you go up to the large group people and just be like, hey, think about how would you feel, Steve? Are you coming to Florida?
No, I'm not.
Oh. Anyway.
Well,
who's coming to Florida? TJ. All right. TJ. I'm going to use Kathy. Kathy. I wanted you to envision this. You're on the plane, you're coming to Florida.
Yep.
You're cramped between, you got your big bulgy husband, Matt, next to you. He's taking up all the room. You got no armrest room. They the heat is on, it's all hot up there, and the flight attendant comes up to you and says, "Mrs. Jennings, we have a seat for you up in first class.
Nice.
Would you like to come up and leave this big, bulky, hulky, sweaty man next to you and come up to first class and sit by yourself and have 3 hours of peace before you get your mind blown at gym business raw?"
Oh yeah.
Right? It feels good. It feels real good.
Sorry.
And I also wanted you to envision you getting to the hotel and all of a sudden, "Oh, Mrs. Jennings, you're here. I want to let you know that since you've been in the SPF Mastermind, Vince has decided to upgrade your room for you. And we have upgraded you to the presidential suite. And now you have 2 beds instead of 1, plus an extra little room and a little coffee nook. And then you can make your own coffee in the room, all that, right? It feels good. It's just like, why are we doing this to our customers? Because if you get the taste of first class, Vanessa took a first class flight to California when she went to California. She flew first class and she comes home and says, "Honey, I'm sorry, but I'm never not flying first class again." And I was like, "Yes, you are." Right? But she was just like, I was like, I never want to go back. She slept. She's like, she took the red eye and she's like, "I slept the whole way." She's like, "I've never slept on a red eye. I don't ever want to fly like anywhere else again. I don't want to do it." Why don't we provide that to our customers? 3 times a week is better than 2. It's better. It's better for them. It's better for you. Yet we don't want to ask them. Like, it's just like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you take 10 people a month and just go up to them and be like, "Hey, it's your lucky month. We're going to put you into small group, and then you're going to do the large group, or you're going to get 2 extra days of small group. It's on me. In 30 days, we'll meet up. If you like it, great. If not, no worries. It was my gift to you." And what you do is you create a process around that. And says, instead of trying to force them into the thing that you want them into, let them go to the place that they want. Let them buy the 3 series. But then the dealer goes up to them and says, "Hey, your 3 series your lease is up on the 3 series. Would you like to test drive the 5 this time? Next time, maybe. You want to buy another 3? Or, well, why don't we test drive the 5 and see if you like it?" If they never did that, what are they going to do? They're going to buy the 3.
Right.
Every time. And so I don't think you need to force them into the program you want. I think you need to create systems around your business that get them to experience it and let them feel it and do it organically over time.
Awesome. Yeah.
So there's
appreciate
2 takeaways for you. It's the structure of your large group is likely too similar to your small.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to make some mechanical changes to that program to be able to make it not look the same. If I was to guess, I would think that large group kind of looks like small group with 24 people.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities in some respects. You know,
There should be
during our
none.
strength days. Yeah, right.
There should be none. It should be totally different. The tempo, the pace, the like everything. Vanessa is a different, like Vanessa hates Fat Blast when you do Fat Blast. It is a different animal. It's got to be a different animal.
Mhm.
You consistently have this issue if different animal.
Got it.
That helpful?
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
All right. Noah.
What's going on, Vince? Ours is a mix of both mindset and strategy. I think we've been struggling a lot because we just haven't been able to get ahead for about a year now. Just to kind of give you a little background, a year ago, we started off 2024 decent, and we just kind of we were plateaued all year. And most of that was due because a lot of our energy and focus and finances were geared towards paying for our wedding and our honeymoon. So in a lot of respects, it was worth it to put that energy and time into that because we had a blast. But we ended up ending 2024 really, really bad. with a lot of churn on a few high paying clients. And now we're starting this year, basically just both trying to catch up from what we lost and then also trying to identify, is the problem attrition or signing up new clients? Is it a mix of both? Or is it just, we just got to stay consistent right now and stay in the pocket and stay confident and keep our heads from creating a lot of self-doubt and frustration between each other because we just came off of a bad few months. So just a lot of like lack of clarity and then like frustration between Michaela and I, and just trying to like figure things out and making sure we're doing the right things overall.
Okay, awesome. I read through your note. Great job. Thank you for the download. I will say this is that let's start with clarity, right? You know, clarity is knowing what you want. And it seems to me like, I know you've been working with Joe, right? It seems to me that I believe +2 was the goal for you. +2 net was the goal on your scoreboard.
Yeah.
So understand that is clarity right there. Right. And so if you want clarity, I just told you what it is. Clarity is finding out what needs to happen to get to +2. And that all of the work becomes solving the problems that are in the way of you getting to +2. So you don't have to worry about this lack of clarity. You have clarity. You have the goal. That is what we're trying to do. If you do +2 for 12 months in a row, you're in a different spot. So you need to have some patience, right? And understand that sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. Okay. But at the end of the day, clarity for you is +2 and
Makes
getting to 100, eventually 100 members, right? You know, +2 would probably get you to 75, I think, roughly. 70, whatever it is, right? But it puts you in a different financial spot, right?
Right.
Tell me what's going on with the mindset side of it. So that's the clarity side, right? The clarity side is that.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense too with the clarity, and you know, we're staying on top of scoreboard and all that stuff. So the clarity is there. I think when it's just, we have right now, we've gotten to a place where we're finally at a place, you know, monthly recurring revenue wise, where it's completely breaking even with all of our expenses across the board. And we're not expensive people. It's not like we're out, you know, doing a bunch of stuff. We pretty much have no life right now. We're just kind of focused on the business and our 2 little girls. So just that frustration of overdrawn accounts and ending the month just kind of at 0 and being like, well, shit. And then this expense pops up. And then just, that's the mindset there, is like just not having enough right now because we're in that survival phase of the business. And then just kind of looking at each other at the end of the month, like, are we even doing the right things? And you know, just frustration, because that can lead to more crucial conversations and a little bit of friction between us, whether we're on the same page or not. Whether we have friction towards the business or friction towards each other, that's kind of where the mindset piece kicks in, because we aren't getting ahead right now. So then it causes stuff for like the business to come home. And so a lot of the frustrations at the business that should be left there are walking through the front door, because it's both Michaela and I, my wife and I, who are running the thing.
So I want you to envision a circle, right? And I've been in business with my wife. Vanessa didn't have another job, so she was very involved in, you know, my business and stuff like that. And we've had definitely challenges and times over the years, right? And some of you know my whole story. Don't have the time to get into it today, but I've been through my challenges with managing a business with my wife. But one of the best pieces of advice is both of you need to have both feet in the circle of where we want this business to go. And if one person has 1 foot in the circle and 1 foot out, and the other person has 2 feet in the circle, it doesn't work. And so both of you need to be committed. You need to design an outcome, right? And the outcome is, we're going to step by step get +2 every month, one by one, and we're going to get there. That's our outcome. That's where we're going. And both of you need to be committed to that goal and understand that the road to that goal is not going to be likely in a straight line. There's always probably going to be times in that where we don't have the +2 month. Now we're going to do our best to get you there, but understand it's just like, my Bella Bear is, she was in Canada and she had some tough challenges on the trip. And I had to message her. It's just like life is the measure of when things are down, not when things are going good. I think too many times we look at things are going good and that's how we define us. It's not that. It's things that are going when things are going down. The definition of success in this group is Tony Bianchino, where when he was broke and in debt, and I want to make you feel better, Noah. Do you have $1 million of credit card debt?
No, we do not.
Do you have 750,000 in credit card debt? Do you have 500,000 in credit card debt? Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, we can work our way down pretty low. We're at
Okay.
9,000.
Oh, Tony, how do you feel about that? Tony would have given his shirt for $9,000 of credit card debt. Phooey. You got to understand that. It's just
Easily.
like,
You got an easy job. I could do that.
Really?
Ease.
and again, I tell the story, but it's a legit, real story. And the Tony is the only testimonial I have from a gym owner that has sent me a certificate of debt completion. Like, it's still like, I got to put it on my wall at some point because it's one of my most proud moments as a coach to help someone get through what a shitstorm that actually was. So sometimes you have to put things in perspective. When I put $9,000 of credit card debt in perspective, that is fucking nothing. It seems like a lot to you, but it's fucking nothing. I'm telling you right now. So you got to put that in perspective. You're not drowning in debt. You can get one person to pay you $9,000 tomorrow, and it's gone.
Right.
So you guys, you got to put this a little bit into perspective. It is not that bad. And what we do is we think it's that bad, and it becomes our whole world. And that is what's bad. When the stress of something that is not that big of a deal, because we're making it a big deal, all of a sudden takes over our lives. You can get out of this in an hour with one sale from one person. Gone, debt gone. So that's what you got to understand. And you have to start believing in yourself that you can do that. So that's the second thing, perspective. So clarity on the goal, +2. Every month, we solve the problems in our business that are getting in the way of getting us to +2. 2, perspective. You have to put this challenge and issue in perspective. You are young. You got a lot of runway. Tony was 50 years old when he's out of all these problems. I was very worried about him. How old are you?
I'm 25. Michaela's 26.
Dude, you guys are young as shit. You have so much time. You have no idea. Like, this is, you should be thanking for these. You should be thanking yourself so I have these problems and these challenges at 25. Because you're going to solve them now. And you're not going to deal with it when you're 45 and you're trying to put your kids through college.
Right.
Which is a way bigger problem than you've got right now. So 2 is perspective. 3, you have a retention problem. I saw your statistics. You have a retention problem. So let me lead you down the path of these questions. Why is your attrition almost double the attrition of most people in this group?
So we've been trying to dissect that the last few weeks. we've really tried to figure it out. I think the biggest thing, because the average member stays with us for 10 to 12 months, we think after talking with Joe, I think it's just people get bored. We don't have exciting things going on. We don't have anything like on the horizon to look towards. It's just kind of like a monotonous flow, month to month, kind of same shit, different day. So I think a lot of it has to do with that versus the side of actually people enjoying their experience and getting results, because we get a lot of referrals. We get a lot of people thanking us and getting good results. So that's where we've been kind of stuck, is like, well, if people are leaving, why is it? And that's what we've kind of came to the conclusion with, is we just think that it's becoming a boring system rather than something that's fun and there's things to look forward to.
Okay. And what are the things that you've done to help make that better?
So we've done 2 things so far. The first one, I had a call with Carly yesterday, and we're going to have a follow-up call at the end of March to start planning our first games event in July. We're going to commit to 1 this year, maybe 2, but start making that a part of our annual process. And then number 2, Michaela sat down and mapped out an entire 2025 calendar of what we're going to do every single month for client appreciation and client experience. So there's going to be always something happening, whether it being more client spotlights, a results board at our gym with client pictures and before and afters and things like that. So just every month, we're just going to try to chip away at something else for our members or for the gym to make the experience a little bit better, just 1% every month.
Okay, great. I'm going to share something with you guys. I wrote this slide last night for Mastermind, so some of you getting a little bit of an intro to it. But this is the retention formula right here. Like, this is the secret to retention, because we can go through all the stuff. I think a lot of times when we're trying to solve retention problems, we look for, are we checking attendance, and are we doing handwritten cards, and are we doing birthdays and like that kind of stuff? But here's the retention. This is ultimate retention, and all these things need to be right. Ready for it? It's right fit clients, participating in great training sessions, run by caring and engaged trainers, led by a strong leader in a culture of community, accountability, and growth. That is where you move first.
That again, Vince?
Right fit clients, because the first question you should ask yourself when you lose a customer is was this person target market? That's the first question every one of you should ask yourself. Was this person target market? And if all of a sudden every one of your clients that you're losing is not target market, you don't have a retention problem, you actually have a marketing problem. So that's the first thing, is right fit clients. The more we can find the right people for our business, the better retention we'll have, because what we want to do is we want to build a business for a specific person. We don't want to build a business and all of a sudden just find people to go in it. We want to build a business with the person in mind. So it's right fit clients, participating in great training sessions. So I look at I call this the Mike Boyle test. And Mike Boyle, as you know, is one of my mentors in training, right? Genius person, great human being, was at one of our masterminds. I used to envision, when I was running my sessions, that Mike Boyle had his face pressed against the glass on the windows and he was watching. I legitimately envisioned that thing. And I would almost like sometimes look at the turn and look at the window, and I would visualize his face there, because I don't want to let him down. And I would look at how my athletes were training. I would look at the energy in the sessions, and I walked through, and I was like, if he came through or I came through your gym, what would I feel? What would I see? Would I be impressed? And you got to start running your training sessions that way. Are you running the training sessions? If I came to your gym, all of a sudden I would be like, oh shit, Noah's doing some good work down there. Oh shit, Noah's killing it. Oh shit, Noah's about to explode. Or am I going to say, that's okay? The retention problem is solved in the quality of the session. That is the critical event of our companies. That is the critical event of our company. The critical event is them showing up and working out. That is it. The Home Depot talks about the critical event all the time. The critical event of the Home Depot is the exchange between the guy in the red or the orange apron and the customer. That is the critical event of that business. If that is screwed up, the whole business gets screwed up. If you screw up the training session, your whole business is screwed up. And your retention is telling you that it is. And so whoever you need to use, Noah, I don't know who your guy is. Who's your guy? Who's your guy, Noah? Like, who do you learn from? Who do you like? Is it,
It, it would, it would be
Is it Brian Sippets?
no, it would be my previous mentor, Luca Hocevar.
Okay, I know Luca. Yeah, so that's what you got to do. Dude, Luca's one of the best trainers in the world. Like, I love watching Luca's videos on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. So I worked with Luca and Steve for a while. Steve
Yeah,
Krebs.
so would Luca be impressed with your gym if you walked in? Would Luca be like, "Damn, Noah, you killing it"?
Yeah. I think he would maybe 20 out of the 30 days of the month. I think 10. I think
That's
80
not good enough. That's not good enough.
you're doing good, but the 20% there's
That's not even close to good enough. If you're telling me that you're off 33% of the time, no way.
right.
Well, should they just pay you only 33% of they should only pay you 66% out of the month? You're going to take the other 33% off? You're going
Yeah,
to start giving 33% discounts to your clients?
And they should if I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to turn that around.
Yes. How old are your daughters?
1 and 2.
I often try to run my companies as best that I can. I am not perfect. I have a lot, as Ask Mel, I got a lot to work on. Right. But I want to create companies that my kids would want to work at or want to take over. And if I had a struggling, flailing business, I wouldn't want my kids to take that over. And so you got to start leading from the front and being like, stepping into the role of owning this. Now, here's the thing, Noah. You're young as shit, dude. Young. Dude, when I was 25, you know what I was doing? When I was 25, I was making $32,000 a year as a personal trainer in San Diego. I didn't own anything. I didn't own a home. I probably had credit card debt at the time. Nothing going on. You got your own company at 25. You're married. You got kids. Like, you're way more advanced than I was. I was getting drunk every weekend at 25. I was partying in San Diego, hanging out. That's what I was doing. So you're ahead of the game, man. So it's clarity on the goal. Just like Hashi told you. You guys have no idea how lucky you are to have Hashi as your coach. Seriously. Like, there is no one that thinks more clearly than Joe. Nobody. And if you guys aren't using him on Voxer, if you guys aren't talking to him, you're freaking nuts, honestly. You're nuts. To have that person as a resource in your life and not use it is so stupid. Anyway. Second is perspective. You have to put this problem in perspective and understand that it's kind of like when my daughter comes to me and she's crying because I make her go upstairs and wipe that shit off her face, and all of a sudden it's the end of the world, right? It's not. It's a very, very small thing. And so you guys got to understand is $9,000 of debt and a retention problem that's 4% away from being where you want it to be is not huge. So don't make it huge. I know it feels huge, but it's not. Third thing is, I didn't even have to read the rest of the definition of retention. Did I? I didn't even have to go through it. We stopped at great training sessions.
Yep.
We stopped there. We don't need to go further. We don't need to evaluate it further. We stopped at great training sessions. And that was our breakthrough right there. It's not good enough. And here's the thing. It's you. You're the only one doing it.
Which makes it a lot easier to solve.
Exactly. And you need to solve it before you start having staff, because what you don't want is to start having staff members that are going to continue the tradition of a 9% attrition rate.
Yeah, fact.
And I guarantee you this, if you start hiring staff, your retention goes to 15%.
Right.
If you're at 9, you'll be at 15 before you know it. And that will put you out of business. 15% retention rates in our business puts us out of business. So those are the three things. And then you get with Joe, continue with that, but he was right on track when he told you +2, +2, +2. That's what you focus on. And I don't know if it is +2. I think that's what it is. But those are three things to help guide you.
Word. Thanks a lot.
Got it, buddy. Good work.
Appreciate it.
Looking forward to hearing about you being +6 in 90 days.
We'll get there for sure. I mean, last month we were +9, so we already crushed that out of the water. So
There you go. Yeah. Just be patient. Yeah. Aggressive patience.
cool.
Yeah. Good job. All right. Who's next? Joey?
Hey, what's up, Vince? Yeah, so my question is about our immediate thing right now is our fitness fair that we have coming up on Saturday. So I just want to ask about how to best maximize it. So I spoke to McGuire about kind of things he did. So I used his strategy of emailing regularly, posting it regularly, telling people there was a surprise. We get a few sponsors as well. And I want to make some offers. So I just want to run it by you. You know, I'm going to do a free month, raffle a free month for a non-member that comes, a free month for an actual member. And, you know, what's an idea for like the membership offer that I should give for people that are coming? And are there any other ways to maximize this event to make it, you know, to knock it out of the park?
Is Sippets still on? Damn it. I think he left. Sippets did one of these and killed it.
Yeah.
I believe we did a call on it. Mel, I don't know if we can find it, but Sippets did a call on his event where he absolutely did killer. And it's in the Wednesday call archives. You know what, Mel, do me a favor, ask Sippets if he remembers the date that he did that call for us, and maybe we can find it from the date. But he nailed it. So just give me a little background on this. Is this an event that you're putting on? You're running the event and hosting it?
I'm running the event. I'm hosting it at the gym. You know, we don't have a huge space, but last year we had about 25 people come and we had a couple of sponsors. So this year should be more than that. We got a few sponsors. We have a coffee shop that's nearby, so I'm going to have them raffle off some gift cards. I have a massage place that does, you know, like a little spa by the house that does massages, that so we'll raffle off one of their massages. We have a DEXA scan place by us. We're going to raffle off a DEXA, and then the free months. So one free month for a non-member, one free month for a member. And I want to make a membership offer to people who are here. So maybe like, you know, half off your first month or something like that.
Okay. So last year you did it and you got 25 people?
Yes, yeah. And then what else we're going to do this year? We're going to do a welcome workout at 9:30, the morning, a space of time, hang out with the sponsors, and then an hours of presentations with 4 local experts, including our nutritionists. I got JVs all over the place for this thing. So I just want to kind of make it work for everybody.
Okay. And what are the JVs again? The coffee shop?
Coffee shop, massage, DEXA scan, there's like a protein bite food thing. And then I guess the speakers would count. So a local physical therapist and a local nutritionist.
Okay. So the PT and nutritionist, you said there's 4 speakers?
4 speakers. I'm one, and the other one is one of our staff.
Okay. So the 2 of you. So 4 speakers. What's the title of the event?
I just call it the Floral Park Health and Fitness Fair.
Is the main thing that you're driving the presentations?
Yes. Yes. The presentation.
So I would build it around a result for the customer that you're looking for, as opposed to health and fitness fair. Because it's like a health and fitness fair, it's just like, oh, this is something that a hospital does, and it's just like that. So I would kind of like almost think of, I'm spitballing ideas here, but I would almost think of like bulletproof male or bulletproof, mom, something like that, where there was some type of a desirable result that they could get from the information. So what I would do is I would just brainstorm, use ChatGPT for brainstorming, but I would probably do that over, the health and fitness fair, and then create like some kind of a name and then like maybe a tagline underneath or something like that. But I think like the title of things is what draws people to it. So like when I do a webinar, like I think for hours and hours and hours of what I want the webinar title to be. Even the seminar, same thing. Like every time I ever do anything like an event like this, it's the title comes, and obviously Gym Business Mania, was the title that we, can't use anymore, right? Long story there, but putting a lot into thinking about the title. So that'll be the first thing. I think that,
like give it a theme almost, right?
yeah. Yeah, give it a theme with more specificity. The second thing is that I talked about this with someone on the last call, it might have been last week. Yeah, that I do think the draw is, the speakers in this sense. Like, oh, it was someone who is asking about a grand opening. And there was actually a video on Instagram that they put on it, right? And it's just like that no one wants to come to your grand opening. Like no one cares about it. What they care about is what's in it for them. Right. And so you have to think about like what would be like someone to look at this ad for this thing and be like, how could I not go to that? Right. That's what you kind of almost got to be thinking about. So we can have the presentations, and the titles of your presentations matter, of each individual presentation. Like one of the things I spent a majority of my time doing when I create the presentations for the seminars is what is the title of it? And I write every title. I don't allow the presenters to write their own title. I write the title because I'm the best marketer we've got. So I write the title. So you got to do that. You write the title. Do not let the physical therapist write the title. You write the title, because people are looking at the different things and the topics, and it's just like, if it's some type of boring topic, no one's going to care about that. Right?
Yeah,
And
I'm going to release the titles today, so I'll definitely fix up what I have so far.
Right. And use your marketing hat.
Yes.
You understand that people are going to be looking at the titles of it and being like, all right, well, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not going to that.
Yes. Yeah. And then for us, I also want it to be like a higher, like a revenue booster. So I'm going to sell like everything in the gym is going to be like, I'm going to put it all in the front. So I'm going to do that. And I also just need like a brownie offer for new members who might be interested.
Okay. Well, I would be focused more on how you're going to get people there than what you're going to sell. Because it's like, if you got 12 people there, it's like, well, how much, you're not going to really sell much.
Okay.
I would be thinking about like, what is the marketing plan to fill this thing? And how do we get like when you had 25 people, how many memberships did you sell?
I think we got like 2 people out of the whole event that one time. It was our first time doing it, so it wasn't like, but this time I want to do more.
Right. And so like, yeah, like if we get 25 people again and we do a little bit better job, we're at 4 people, which is fine, but it's just like if we're going to do all this work, what do we need to happen to get 100?
Yes.
So I want you to like think about that. Like what would need to happen to get 100 people in this thing?
I feel like you're saying like I almost have to look at it like a grand opening type of event where it's a major, like we can make it a major event.
You're already
like
doing all the work, right? You're already going through all this. You got all these people together. There's a lot of legit. Trust me, I know putting an event together is a pain in the ass. Like events are hard. And so if you're going to go through all the trouble, well, it's not worth it to get 25 people. It's worth it if you get 100.
Yeah, I can only really fit like 30 to 40 max.
Okay, well, yeah, like what? Yeah, what's a?
Or I have to,
Well,
like, do
well,
an
well,
extra
think about it
or
though
something.
too. Like think about it too. Like is there a way to change the structure? How many square feet do you have?
Working with about 1,000,
Okay.
and then with all the gym equipment, it takes up some space. So
Okay. So yeah, you got to like look in like safely what could you get in there. So if it's 40, then yeah, get 40. And then what I would say is for you is like, what's the marketing plan that's going to get me 40 people for this? And so what do you have right now?
we have about 20 listed.
When's the thing?
Saturday.
Like this Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So I was asking like any last, couple of minute things I can do.
Have you had all the joint ventures mail about it?
Yeah. So I gave it to everybody. I had them mail about it.
And how are they signing up?
Through a Google Doc.
A Google Doc?
Google form.
Is there like a landing page?
No, I didn't put a landing page together for it.
Okay.
Not this time.
Why not?
We used the Google Doc, the form last year, and it worked. It worked okay. So the landing page would have definitely been better, but that's something I would do the next go around.
Yeah, because so basically they're sending emails out and then they're putting all the information in the email.
Yeah.
Are you using social media at all?
Yeah. So I boosted up some posts on there with the flyer. I just used the flyer straight up. I did a few videos.
Okay. So what I would do is I would do a daily email from maybe even 2 leading up to it, to your list.
Remind the sponsors too.
Remind the sponsors to get another thing out. I'd post on social, multiple times a day. Are some of the 20 people coming your members?
It's probably like half and half.
Okay, so 10 out of the
Yeah.
And are the 10 members coming bringing friends?
That's what I told them. Yeah, I said it's like, it's $15 if you bring a friend, it's free.
Oh, so you charge for this?
Yes.
Hmm.
It was more to encourage them to bring a friend. If they bring a friend, it's free.
Okay. So the outside people have to pay for it too?
That's why I wrote it. But the idea is if they bring a friend, it's free. So we just encourage everybody to bring someone.
Okay. So is it 20 people and they all might bring friends, or is it 20 people?
Yes, 20 people and they all might bring friends. So even if half of them bring a friend, it would be 30.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Do you have the email addresses of the people?
Yeah.
I would be so I would do, this is one of your best things that you could do. I would start messaging them and making sure that they're bringing a friend and get the name of the friend.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good.
So I would reach out to them because that's your lowest hanging fruit. In the short time that you already have 20 people coming. Just be like, hey, we'd love to come. Now, did they already pay for the ticket, or they pay when they come?
They'll pay when they come.
Okay, so basically, hey, instead of you paying when they come, what I'd like to do is give you a free ticket for you and your friend. Who's the first person that comes to your mind that you want to bring to the event?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a
And
huge
I would
help.
do it. I would do it like that. But that's how you could do it. But I would try to get, you got the next 4 days to try to, or 3 days to try to get 40 in there.
Yeah. I'll put
And
I'll put my foot to the gas. Now, to offer them as a membership for the new people, do you
Yeah.
think the half off your first month with us is fair enough?
I would just give them a free month.
They all get like a free month for just even coming.
Yeah, just give them a free month.
Okay.
Get them in the door. It's a lonely kettlebell theory. Just get them in the door. Let them like for you getting half off. Like, what does that do for you? It doesn't do anything for you because if they balk at that, they're just like they're gone. But if they get it, it's just like, and the chance of them becoming a customer is like so much bigger.
That's true. That's true. Great. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. That helps a lot.
Next year, we got to do this better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next year, what you do is you find a way to make it like, is there a way to do it? Like, do you have an outside area of your gym?
I did not time it correctly. So this is like, it's winter break. So a lot of people are away. It's also winter here. So that doesn't make sense. So I have to, talk about where to fit it in my marketing calendar, and I might move it to April. I don't think we have anything in April.
Yeah. I like it being at your gym to get people in the gym, but
Yeah.
like, I would love to see if there's a way to make it bigger.
I could do, the outdoor space is still only like less than 1,000 square feet. So
Right.
it
But I'm
might
saying,
have to-
could it be hybrid? Could you do both, or is it?
probably I could figure out something.
Yeah, because you could have two speakers at once and like them rotate them or something.
That's another option too. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Okay. But yeah, I think next time just like set a bigger goal because these events take work. Like
Yeah.
they're a lot of logistics and a lot of work, a lot of energy. And when we do them, we want to do them and make it right.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Vince. It helps a lot.
You got it, buddy. All right. Harnor.
Hey, what's up, Vince? So I have a couple things that have been just going on that I'd love some support in. So I get to run a similar thing to Grit. It's called Physio Kids. We just work with the kids, and we do the same pretty much model verbatim of like 2 times a week membership, 3 times a week. And we've gotten the chance to get most of our marketing done through either joint ventures or via schools. Joint ventures are usually like rec leagues. Schools we get invited to pretty often. I give lots of presentations because I'm a physical therapist. It's pretty easy for me to get into schools and give presentations. And a few schools have reached out and said that they actually want to run our program at their school, which is great. No lease. We get to they do all the marketing. They pay us, same thing, right? And so one model is that the school wants to bus the kids to us, to our location. And we said, yeah. So that's happening in the spring. Another school reached out and said, will you come to us? And I said, yeah, even though like we actually don't have the time, or it's impossible to do both. We said yes to both because we're like that. We just keep saying yeses. And so we have an extra coach. So we're going to split up the coaches, and one person's going to go to the school and the other person's going to stay on site with the students that get busted. And so the model is a little tricky because it's our first time we're about to test this model of being at another school. But it seems promising, and I know that actually a lot of schools are interested in this because another school has already reached out saying like, will you build an after school program at our school? The question is that I like the only way I can see this model working is I would have to have a lot of coaches, right? And like send them all to these various schools. And then all these coaches, they would only be training for 1 hour a day. And I guess I personally can't imagine
me accepting a job where I'm only working 1 hour a day for like maybe $50 or that's like a very high rate, $50 to do it. What we typically pay our coaches are more around the $20 to $30 mark. So yeah, that's like just something I'm trying to like, it's not something that like I'm being put into the position to make a decision anytime super soon, but I guess I just wanted to be in a ready um for that with critical decision making. And we did just hire another coach. And this is the second part. So the first part is like, how do I logistically figure this out? And then the second part is we just hired another coach and I'm training them. And I'm finding training coaches to be just a lot of work because our model is so detailed. Like we have like the push-up dialed a very specific way. We have the squat dialed and it needs to be taught this way. And so like everything is like really specific. And so I just was wondering like if you had like any ways that I could help instill culture and training in a very streamlined way that doesn't exhaust me. Because like bringing in this coach is gonna be so helpful in a month from now, but this upcoming month I just know is about to be a ton of work on my end, having to meet with him like 2 or 3 times a week and get him to understand the curriculum and to understand the software. And so I know that more coaches might be on the way, depending on if we decide to entertain this model further. So those are some of the parameters that I'm looking for some guidance in.
First thing, Steve Jobs had a line where he said, I was more proud of the things that we didn't do at Apple than the things that we did do.
Whoa.
And your line to me was a big red flag of when you said, we'll just say yes to everything. That's just the way we are. And that tells me there's an extreme lack of focus in your business. If we're saying everything, yes to everything, to everyone. And so that leads me down the path of asking you, every one of you are going to go through your lives and go through your businesses with opportunities of things coming into your lap. I want you to open up this gym with me. I want you to do this with me. It's just like they are going to keep coming. Okay? They're never going to stop. They're going to get opportunities. And some of my most proud moments is when some of you guys get those things and you reconnect with what you want. Because what the school wants is their agenda. And what I want to know is, what does Harnor want for this company? And what is the future of this organization? And where do you want to be in a year? And where do you want to be in 3 years? And when you know that and have clarity around that, that information becomes a filter for these kinds of things, where you can then decide, is this a good idea? Is this or is this not a good idea, based on the clarity of where you want to go? And so my question, I guess, to you is, what is that? Do you have some semblance of a definition of success for your business in 1 year, in 3 years? It's got to be a minimum of one, right? If we don't have a minimum of 1 year of a vision, we're just chasing our tails. If you do not have your 1 year vision down or 1 year plan down, you're chasing your tail. If every one of you should be able to tell me where you want your business to be from a revenue standpoint, from a profit standpoint, from a measurable standpoint, in terms of how many clients you want to have in 12 months. If you don't have that, that is the first thing you need to do when you get off this call. So, Harnor, what is that for you?
Yeah. So with regards to the ultimate vision for Physio Kids, it's to have two organizations pretty much.
Okay.
The gym aspect, right? And the gym aspect, we have a 5-year plan. I don't actually have a 1 year. I have a 5
That's fine.
Oh, okay, great.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
so
it's not okay to not have a 1 year, but it's
I
a good
get
thing
it
you have a
for
5 year.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
For now, I hear you. So the 5-year plan is to have 4 locations. And they all would help us in developing enough revenue generation to create a nonprofit 5th location. And so that one we would place in Baltimore City. That's where I'm at, is Baltimore, to help those children. And so that whole vision and is written down pretty detailed of
Great.
like
Beautiful.
the 4 locations and how many children have to be at each location, how much profit has to be made, and then looking at the lease of the 5th location and just being able to have a nonprofit while still everybody gets paid the salaries that they desire, including me. So that's detailed. The second half of the vision, or the second portion, is developing a consulting um, portion, which is where we work with schools in redeveloping all their movement curriculum. So we redevelop their gym classes, we redevelop the recess breaks, we redevelop even how teachers have children sit at desks, stuff like that. So those are the 2 visions, which is why I guess I'm a little blurry right now, because this opportunity to work at the schools that they're offering feels really like the second one. And it's starting to get a little blendy between the first and the second, and I'm like kind of losing a little bit of what's happening between the 2. And luckily, this is a good test run. Is this spring season? We're just gonna do a small test run with these schools, kind of see how it all feels. Um, yeah.
First, great job on having clarity on your vision. It's good. I like to hear that. Um, I would say part of one of the things that's causing the saying yes to everything, and maybe some of the lack of clarity in that, is kind of this dual vision. And I'm okay with it, you know, being something of the future. But I think if you try to kind of start 2 things at once, it's going to get really kind of clouded, and you're going to do 2 things kind of okay versus doing one thing really good and then using the success of that one thing to launch you into the other. And so what I would do is, it's kind of like this. Like, imagine if I started GFP, Gabriel Fitness, and 1 year in, I had my eye on consulting gym owners. It probably wouldn't have worked. It worked because I had my head down and I grew my gym, and that's the only thing I did and the only thing I focused on. And then the opportunity arose for me to do consulting for gyms. And then I had created a business that enabled me the freedom and the time to be able to go off and spend energy and time into that other thing. And so I think my advice to you is just like, it's probably gonna be hard to do both at one time. And what I would do is I would focus on one and make it killer and really good and almost earn the opportunity to start that other thing. I think if you try to do both at the same time, it's going to be really, really hard for you. So I would just be like, all right, if 4 gyms is the vision and that's what you want to do, let's lock that in and let's go. And then let's use those 4 gyms, because now you have the staff, you'll have the expertise, you'll have the people and the horses to be able to give you the freedom to go off and do the consulting business. I think the consulting business is a great opportunity, and I think it is a good idea. I think it's more of one of those things that's like, it's a no for now, but not forever. Now, the other thing is, why do you need 4 gyms? If you really are doing the consulting thing really well, do you have to have 4 gyms to do that? That's another thing to really think about. It's just like, if there is a lot of legs in the consulting arm and you have a demand for it, why are we all of a sudden needing to spend all this time, energy, and effort creating 4 locations, when if the ultimate goal and the ultimate growth will be the consulting business, and that is much more scalable and something that you could do across the entire East Coast? We don't need 4 locations to be able to do that. So you have to also think about that. It's just like, is the vision, maybe do we want to get to the other things sooner? I think either way, you need to look like, where's your revenue right now?
We just so I mean we're only 1 year in, but we hit our 6 months savings goal. So like I've just any revenue we make, I just put into the savings, and we just finally hit our 6 month savings of expenses.
Well, what's the top line?
About 8,000 a month.
Okay, yeah. Like, I mean, so like we got a long way to go before
Yeah.
we're kind of scaling to multiple locations at 8,000 a month. So that's like that's 8,000 a month, like overall top line revenue.
That's profit.
Oh, that's profit. Okay, so what's the revenue?
Oh, revenue this upcoming season. Last season we did about 35. This season we're right now about 27 in, but I think we're gonna do way, way better. So because we do it just by season, so fall, winter, spring, and
So that's 3
so
months. So 3 months
yeah,
of revenue.
yeah. So 30.
So it is 9,000 then.
I can get you the exact number. It's on my scoreboard. Let me get it for you. So our winter. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Our winter, yeah, was 30,000, and then our spring,
So
right?
is that 30,000 divided by 3?
It is 30,000 divided by 3.
So you're
And
doing
then
10,000 a month. So it's not profit.
right, but I just named this past month because we're doing better than the winter right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
'cause now-
it's between 10 and 15 or whatever.
right, profit
Okay.
wise.
So yeah, there's a long way for you guys to go
Yeah,
on this one location. I mean, how many square feet do you have?
it's pretty big. I don't know how many square feet it is. It's about like 80% of the size of your facility's kids spot. That spot right there, about 80% of that.
So about 2,200 square feet, 22,000 square feet, roughly.
Um, is that how big just your kids' portion is?
Is 2,400 square feet is that turf room.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then, like, yeah, 80% of that. So yeah.
Okay, so you're like at 2,000 square feet. I mean, you could do 70 grand a month in that space.
What? Okay. I hear you. I hear you.
Bro, I got a guy in Texas named Brent Gallagher that did over $2 million in like 4,000 square feet.
Yeah, we have a few restrictions with the space we have in that
Okay. Comes back to the third point. Okay,
Okay.
so the third point that you talked about was you having to spend 17 hours teaching a squad.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna fly in scalability.
Uh-huh.
If you're trying to scale this and open this multiple locations, that ain't gonna fly. So you're gonna at some point need to start simplifying what you're doing. If that is the goal. If you want to keep one location, you can get a little bit more kind of nerdy, if you will, on things. But if you're going to scale, it's really hard to scale complexity. It's hard. It's possible. It's just hard. And so if you have that in mind, you have to start kind of beginning with the end in mind. And understanding that whatever your struggles you're facing with teaching the squat to one person, if you multiply that by 5, that's going to be a big time and energy suck. And that's going to cost you a lot of money as well. So that's kind of how you have to start probably thinking it. If the goal is 4 locations and you're going to scale, what are the things that are going to help simplify this model to be able to make that a reality and make that happen? And so what I would do is like, I would look at all my stuff and I'd just be like, where is it hard? Where is it really hard? And then I would start to kind of make the hard parts of the business in terms of onboarding in terms of implementation and everything like that? Or where is it complicated? And how do we make it less hard? And how do we make it less complicated? And I would just go quarter by quarter and pick one area of your business per quarter and make it a little easier.
Heard, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I heard two things. I mean, the first thing we talked about was just the clarity and being able to like say no to things that aren't perfectly in line with the vision that I have. And then the second is if we want to really talk about scaling, then we have to understand that complexity makes scaling difficult. And what are things that don't have to be complex.
Right. And the other thing to think about too is like, is 4 locations needed and necessary?
Right. And I really heard that, yeah, because like, yeah, even what you said about like maybe the consulting thing has more legs on it, and all we need is one really bomb location, and you put numbers in my head that I didn't even think were possible for one location.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I think that you got to think of like you might be thinking that $10,000 a month, or we can get to 20 and then we got to open a look. No way. Like you should be able to do in 2,000 square feet. I mean, Grit does $25,000 to $30,000 a month in that space that we have, just Grit alone. And that's in 3 hours a day. We're
That's
only
what you
open.
need space for.
We're only open from 3:30, 4:30 to 5:30. That's the only sessions we have.
Right. And that's our lease actually at that space, is for 4 hours a day.
Right. But you could do more than that. Like you probably could do more. You could do more on the weekends. You could do more, like, that's the thing. And that's one of the things that limits you, from a model standpoint, is your market is just kids. So you're the maximization of your facility. And that's the other thing that kind of scares me a little bit about opening 4 locations. It's like we're opening 4 locations and we're opening 4 different locations with using 50% of each one of them. You get what I'm saying? Like you're only open from 3:30 on. It's like now you're paying rent times 4 and not making money in any of those hours. So it's either start an adult program and make money in those hours, or don't have multiple locations and use the consulting thing as the big growth opportunity and have one location. That just something to think about.
Totally.
Because consulting, if you do it right, can be profitable. Like, cool.
The hot seat is hot. Ooh, pulling on my Excel sheets on the spot.
Well, that's what it does. The hot seat leads you down a direction you didn't even think you were thinking.
Gotcha.
Like you originally were asking me about some school program that we didn't even talk about
Right.
because that wasn't the issue.
Right. The clarity. The maximization of one location. Deal.
You got a lot of room. You got a lot of money to make.
Mm.
And you're gonna have, especially too, if you keep that, you're gonna have to. I mean, here's the thing: just in that alone, I mean, I'm telling you what we're doing out of a similar model, and it's 3 times that what you're doing. So you have at least 3 times. Now we're at a point where we are running out of time slots, right, for us. And so our expansion in Grit likely will be like another satellite location or something like that. Because we can't be open for many more hours because the kids aren't available. So you are running into, so maybe my answer is maybe you can't do 1 million just athletes in that facility. But you definitely can do 300,000 to 400,000. And it should be at ridiculous margins.
That's what you guys are doing, 3 to 4?
Yeah, 350 is where we're at right now.
Nice.
And the
All right.
payroll is one full-time trainer.
Right.
It's a nice business.
Locking in.
All right. He just leave. Oh, I thought your box moved, but all right, you good then?
Great. I'm great. Thank you, Vince. Thank you.
All right, buddy. You got it. Okay. All right. I'm hesitant to answer this question, hence that you haven't checked in on time yet, but
So I was literally on my laptop at 3 a.m. and before I was gonna train. It's never gonna happen again. Don't worry.
all right, I'll make sure. All right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I kind of have like a two part question, and for sure, I literally just finished your sales book, and that definitely provided a lot of value already. I'm about to dive into the marketing one, so I'm sure you're probably gonna answer some questions that are already in the book. But anyways, so I just got done talking to Joe recently, and I kind of came to the conclusion that we don't necessarily have a churn issue. I thought I had like a real like attrition issue, but I'm really starting to think it's more of a marketing issue, especially after hearing what you just said. And well, my question is how exactly did you come up with your ad copy? Because like I feel like we're at that point to where, we're going on our 4th year of business now. We opened in 2022 January. That was like our official grand opening. But we're not just I don't think we need to take anyone with the pulse anymore who can pay for the program, because we're having churn. Like they get consulted, we sign them up, they get a nutrition consult. I believe our sessions are solid, like the energy's there, but they'll quit. And it's like 50% of our signups. And I guess my question is where am I going wrong with our marketing? Like, what is exactly good, effective marketing?
Yep. Okay, so let me start foundational first. There's 3 pieces of foundations in marketing, right? The first piece is very simple. It is who the person is, right? Who do we want to get to buy from us? Right. So that's the question you would write down.
So the avatar, pick your avatar. Okay.
Right. Who do I want to buy from me?
Okay.
The second question is you ask is what must happen to get them to buy from me? What must happen to get them to buy from me? Just write the question down. Okay. And so the second piece is the marketing message. And the marketing message is basically combined of 2 things. One is how you communicate how you're different from another gym, combined with what is the offer that you're putting in front of them. So pillar number 1 is who do I want to get to buy from me? Pillar number 2 is what's my message to them, and that's communicated in how do we differentiate ourselves, and then what are our offers that we're making? And then the third piece is what is in my marketing glove? What is the media that we're using to get the message to the market? So if you want to understand marketing from a meta view, from a big picture view, that is the thing. And a lot of times, and I'm going to be talking about this at Mastermind, because it's very easy for our mind to go strategic here. You're like, all right, what do I need to offer? What's my challenge? What's this and that? And it's just like, that's where we go. And a lot of times we need to step back and start thinking strategically before we think tactically. And so that is really what you need to get clarity around, is potentially rethinking the who, then rethinking how the message is being communicated. If someone would look at your marketing, could I say, well, this is how Diego is different from the gym down the street? Is that being communicated in your marketing? Is there a compelling offer in the marketing? Is there something that actually is a good offer that would entice someone to want to test drive or try out your gym? And then am I seeing that offer in multiple places, or am I just seeing it once? It sounds like for you that a deeper dive into the market is the first thing. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get a piece of paper when you get home, And well, I'm going to make this even easier for you instead of that. You are a mastermind member, so you have access to my program called the 6-week new client surge.
I'll tell Mel. I can't get access to it for some reason. My account's like not letting me. I told Mel, but
It's
I actually
because you didn't check in on Friday on time.
okay, sorry.
So what happens is if you don't check in on Fridays on time, we revoke your access until you check in on Fridays. You're gonna have to wait till for this Friday to get access to it.
All right.
But that's you got to own that. You got to own that responsibility that was on you.
That was for sure me.
Okay. And in the surge, there are 7 questions to answer about your target market. And so what I would do is I would start thinking about who you want to attract in your gym, and then the questions help you really get deep into who they are as a person. And when you start to understand and really dig deep into who they are as a person, then you start coming up with the words that you need to write. Going back full circle to your question. The best thing that can happen in marketing is someone says, I feel like you were talking to me. That is the best thing. So I had this happen. I had a sales call with a guy on Monday, a gym owner in Maine, who's going to join SPF. And he's on the phone and he started talking to me about my content. He's like, yeah, I read your Uncle Vinny post. And on the Uncle Vinny post, and he cited one of the bullets in the Uncle Vinny email that I wrote. And he was like, that was me. He's like, that's why I'm on this call right now, is that one little bullet point that I wrote. And I knew that one little bullet point that I wrote, I know that him has that problem. And I know that a lot of other gym owners have that exact same problem. I know this market better than you guys know yourself, because obviously I am you. And what you need to start doing is putting self in the mind of the buyer and start knowing that mind of the buyer. Now, you have a little bit of a disadvantage in that it's likely that your buyer is a little bit older than you, and it's likely that you are not your buyer. I am my buyer in the gym owner space. I'm just a little bit ahead of it, right? But I sometimes have to put myself back into that environment that when I was a gym owner. I have to often say, all right, where was I in 2008? What was I thinking in 2008? What was I thinking in 2010? Because sometimes I'm not in it as much, right? At this point right now. And so you got to find the way to put you in it. Like really good copywriters, do you know what they do? They go and live the life of their market. So someone that gets hired to write copy for bodybuilding magazines that's never been a bodybuilder will go start bodybuilding. And he'll train for an amateur show. And what he does is he learns the language and he learns the lingo and he learns what keeps them alive and he learns what they read. He learns what steroids they take. He learns what foods they eat. He learns what their splits are. He learns everything about them. And then now that he knows everything about them, he can write the words that get them to say, I feel like that guy knows me. I feel like he's talking to me. That is how you write copy. You don't write copy from a bullets and understanding a formula. You write copy from an understanding, from an empathetic view. And remember, understand the difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is having pity for one's misfortune. Empathy is seeing the world through their eyes. Empathy is the most lethal marketing skill that you could own, because it gets you to understand and come up with the words, I feel like you're talking to me. So your homework, Diego, is going home and doing those 7 questions when your access is now granted.
Yeah. Got it.
So you got 2 days to think about it. And then when when Mel sees your Friday check-in, she'll renew your access. And then you can answer the questions.
For sure.
Any follow-up questions to that?
Yeah, second part.
Yeah, go ahead.
How often did you, because I feel like when I was on the floor, I don't want to like speak so highly of myself, but like I really don't believe there's another coach that can match my energy. Like I really do believe in that. Like I'm a loud person. I'm super charismatic. I almost feel like no matter what I try to put my trainers under, they're just different type of personalities. But like they're great people. Like they're awesome. Um, I knew that when I came off the floor, it was gonna get some type of like, watered down version of what I was. But as long as the culture, they are cultural fits. But my question to you, Vince, is how often did you go check on your service when you came off?
Great question. Really good question. First thing is they're not going to be you,
Yeah.
and that you can't expect them to be you. If they were you, they would go be off starting their own gym.
Yeah. Good point.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to be 80% as good as you. That's a goal.
Okay.
If they can be 80% as good as you, they're a friggin' rock star. But they're not going to be you. Okay. At this point in your career, a lot.
Okay.
Watch the work.
Should I like, so I spend like I work out at 4 a.m. I get home at 6 a.m. I work on my business from 8 to literally 8, but from home. Should I literally set up an office at the gym?
You
and
need
just
to be at the
there?
gym.
I need
Yeah.
to be there. Okay.
You need to be there. You need to block time. I like the fact, I'm not saying you shouldn't block time for marketing, but there are certain time periods where you're able to see the work, right? And like you probably have certain sessions that are busier than others, right? And so what I would do is I would just build in to your schedule to be around and to watch the work. Sometimes it can be I call it spotting, where you actually can watch and help out, where you're not training the session, but you're just there kind of helping out and hanging out. Um, I think that there's a guy, one of my mentors, Ari Weinswick, he owns a $70 million company, restaurant company. He's the owner of it. He goes around to his restaurants and he has a pitcher of water and he just pours water at the tables. And he looks like he's a busboy. That's what he does.
Yeah, because
And
I was about to. Go ahead.
he goes from table to table to table and he pours water. And he actually, the funny thing is, I asked him, he's like, "Do you pay yourself?" And he said, "Yes." And he pays himself a busboy salary to do it,
That's funny.
right? But what is he doing? He's not being a busboy.
Yeah.
He's watching the work.
He's like undercover, kind of.
Yeah, but it's not undercover because he's able to connect. So he's what is he doing? He's connecting with the clients. So he's learning and talking to the clients, which is some of the best market research that you can do.
Yes.
Sales calls. Some of the best. If you're not doing sales and you're trying to market, you're nuts.
Yeah, I haven't taken a sales in a while.
Dude, that's a huge mistake.
Okay.
If you are trying to market your business and you're not doing sales calls, that's usually the biggest mistake I make was giving sales to Leo. And the problem is he's damn good at it. But it has put me further away. And now I do this, so this helps me a lot, right? When I do these calls with you guys, so I still get it. But I just in the last few weeks, I've been starting to get on the phone with prospective clients, like new people, and it's a game changer for your marketing. Now, do you need to do every consult? No, but someone in your shoes, there's no reason why, from a marketing standpoint, you shouldn't be doing sales to help you with the marketing side.
Wow. There it is. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, watch the work. You got to get out there. Dude, you want to get this one right. You're doing great. You're doing really good. Your revenue's really strong. But the worst thing that happens is you go off and start a second gym and your first one starts going to crap. There's two expenses, when you start a second business. One is the money it costs to open it and how to acquire customers. Second is the money that you lose from taking your eye off the first business.
Yeah, I have shiny object syndrome for sure. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to lock this one in and make it solid and make it good. And yeah, especially if you don't feel like you have the horse. At some point, you're going to need a horse in there that's going to be a hold it down while you're not there. And if you haven't found that person, it will slip very quickly without you. Very quickly.
Thank you. Appreciate
You
it.
got it, buddy. Well, Vanessa's going to be mad at all of you because I've used every word I've got today. And date night tonight is going to be Vanessa yakking and me listening and not saying anything. And I'm going to blame all of you because I've used every word I've got. Well, I'm just kidding, actually. Does anyone have another one? I think that was good. All right. Good job, everybody. Thank you all. Appreciate you guys. Mel, great job on the memos today. As always. See you guys next week.